Ever wondered what a typical Tuesday was like, say, 70 million years ago? Forget your morning commute or worrying about emails. Your biggest problem was probably a 40-foot-long Tyrannosaurus Rex thinking you look like a tasty snack. Today, we're journeying back in time to uncover the unseen horrors and daily dangers of prehistoric life. Spoiler alert. Was absolutely terrifying. Let's set the scene. You're not at the top of the food chain anymore. In fact, you're not even in the middle. The world you're in is a giant all-you-can-eat buffet, and everything is on the menu. The air itself is different, thicker, with more oxygen, which sounds great, right? Well, that extra oxygen fueled not only giant dinosaurs, but also giant insects. Imagine a dragonfly with the wingspan of a modern eagle, or a centipede as long as a car. Yeah, suddenly a house spider doesn't seem so bad. Let's start with the most obvious threat: the neighbors. And by neighbors, I mean the colossal predators roaming the land. We all know T-Rex, the king of the Cretaceous. With a bite force strong enough to crush bone, there was no outrunning or outsmarting this giant. But T-Rex was just one of many. Depending on the era and location, you might have to deal with the Allosaurus, a slightly smaller, but equally ferocious hunter known for its pack-hunting tactics. Or maybe the Spinosaurus, a semi-aquatic behemoth larger than a T-Rex, lurking in the rivers and swamps, ready to snatch you from the water's edge. Even the herbivores weren't exactly friendly. Imagine accidentally startling a Triceratops. You're now facing 3 massive horns and a multi-ton tank of pure muscle that is not happy to see you. Or think about the Ankylosaurus, a walking fortress covered in bony plates with a giant club on its tail that could shatter the legs of any predator that got too close. These weren't gentle giants, they were heavily armed survival machines. Staying out of their way was just as important as avoiding the meat-eaters, but the danger wasn't just on land. Let's go for a swim, shall we? The prehistoric oceans were a nightmare realm. Forget sharks. We're talking about the Mosasaurus, a massive marine reptile that could grow up to 60 feet long. It was the great white shark of its day, on steroids. Its double-hinged jaw allowed it to swallow large prey whole. The water was also home to the plesiosaur, with its long, snake-like neck and a mouth full of needle-sharp teeth, perfect for ambushing prey from below. Even the shallower waters weren't safe, with giant prehistoric crocodiles like the Deinosuchus, which hunted dinosaurs at the water's edge. A simple drink of water could be your last. And what about looking up? The skies were patrolled by pterosaurs, flying reptiles of all shapes and sizes. While many were small fish-eaters, some were truly monstrous. The Quetzalcoatlus, for example, had a wingspan of over 30 feet, the size of a small airplane. Standing as tall as a giraffe on the ground, this creature was a formidable predator, capable of plucking small dinosaurs right off the ground. A shadow passing overhead wasn't a cloud. It was a potential death sentence. Beyond the animal kingdom, the planet itself was an active and violent place. Volcanoes erupted with a frequency and intensity we can barely imagine, spewing ash and toxic gases into the atmosphere, choking the air and blocking out the sun for months or even years. Earthquakes constantly reshaped the landscape, creating massive fissures and triggering devastating landslides. And the weather? Forget your local forecast. Hyper-hurricanes, storms of unimaginable power, would have regularly battered the coastlines, with winds and rain that would make modern cyclones look like a gentle breeze. Even the plants were out to get you. While we don't have direct evidence of widespread toxic flora that would be instantly fatal, it's safe to assume that many plants were inedible or poisonous as a defense mechanism. A wrong bite of a seemingly harmless leaf could lead to sickness, paralysis, or worse, leaving you vulnerable to the countless predators waiting for an easy meal. There were no field guides to tell you which berries were safe. Every meal was a roll of the dice. Survival was a full-time job with no breaks. Nighttime brought no relief. In fact, it often made things worse. Many predators were likely nocturnal, using the cover of darkness to hunt. Their superior senses of smell and night vision would have given them a huge advantage. Hiding in a cave? Bad idea. That cave is probably already home to a cave bear or a pack of raptors. Climbing a tree? Hope you can climb higher than a prehistoric snake or a clever, climbing dinosaur. There was no true sanctuary. Let's not forget disease and injury. With no medicine, no antibiotics, and no doctors, even a small cut could be a death sentence. An infection could quickly turn septic. A broken bone meant you were either left behind or became easy prey. Parasites, both internal and external, would have been rampant. The constant stress of survival would have taken a massive toll on the body. Life expectancy wasn't measured in decades. It was measured in days. So what does a day in the life look like? You wake up, if you survive the night, not to an alarm clock, but to the distant roar of a predator. Your first thought is food and water, but every trip to the river is a calculated risk. You have to stay hidden, move quietly, and constantly scan your surroundings. Every rustle in the bush, every shadow, every strange smell is a potential threat. You're not just avoiding the big guys. You're also watching out for smaller, faster predators like raptors, which were intelligent social hunters that could coordinate an attack. Life millions of years ago wasn't the majestic, slow-motion world we see in movies. It was a brutal, chaotic, and relentlessly dangerous existence. It was a constant battle against predators, the environment, and your own body's limitations. The world was a stage for a grand, violent drama of survival, where a single mistake meant you were wiped from the evolutionary timeline. Next time you're stuck in traffic or complaining about a long line at the grocery store, just take a moment. Be grateful you don't have to worry about a Spinosaurus joining you for a swim or a pack of velociraptors crashing your lunch. Our world may have its problems, but at least our unseen horrors are a little more manageable. Thanks so much for joining me on this terrifying trip back in time. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the prehistoric world, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of our planet's past. Let me know in the comments which prehistoric danger you think would be the scariest to face. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.